Good morning, and welcome to Sunday Soul Talks with Lori Dibadon. 9 o'clock, 9:01 Sunday morning. Whew! We're video chatting as Taylor saw, my youngest saw, he was walking with his little boy out in the woods by their house. They're in the woods, and it's snowing out, and there was an owl watching them. So we got to video chat for, gosh, it was turned out to be like 45 minutes. God, it was 8:30. I said, "Jeez, I gotta get in the shower. I gotta get." Anyway, this week it was it was the best week, all by myself, pretty much the whole week by myself. It was. I had nowhere to go. There was stuff to do. Of course, there's always something to do, but I got some stuff done. But mostly relaxed and gave myself permission to just be. It was a great week. Crickets, birds. The hum of the crickets never gets old because we only had it in Maine from the end of July through about the middle of October, and that was it. So the first thing when used to just come visit here was hearing the crickets. That hum in that field there, on the other side of the water. Mm. The stillness, the stillness within. Nature can bring you to it because most of the time we, the me's, the little me's, run from that stillness. It's got to be filled up with something. Tell those crickets to shut up now. Great show. Thank you, Nemo. Thank you for dropping by. Yeah, the stillness is something that every little me, the one you believe yourself to be, runs from. It does not want, it's petrified to sit still, quietly in a room alone, with no distractions, just sitting. Had some profound insights happen this week about being yourself. Most people have lost who they are because they're trying to continue this role they've been given. I'm the blah, blah, blah one. And that role, mosquito. I don't normally see mosquitoes. I was making sure it wasn't in here. It's outside. You can't get me. That role that we play, the roles, there's a lot of roles. Good morning, Cynthia. Yeah, I missed you last week. I saw it after it was over. I saw your comments. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see them when I was live. Anyway, Not a big deal. I just wondered if you thought I was live when you were commenting. It doesn't matter. But those roles we play are good morning, Margie. Now I feel complete. Nemo, Cynthia, and Margie are here. But the roles, I'm coming back to the roles. They, even the role of mom, the role of friend, the role of anything we've, like, okay, so I was talking with Hannah, my granddaughter, who is, yes, Eli with the owl. That's what they were video chatting. It was still there when he first got on the video chat, and we video chatted till 8:30, like quarter. It was before 8, and went all the way to 8:30. I'm watching the time tick away. I'm like, "Ugh, I gotta get in the shower. Anyway, I did it. um, so Hannah was. She hates a lot of people. Hates. They just rub her the wrong way, and we realized together while we were talking, is that the ones that she really loves, like she has a guy that she works with, Elliot, who is her least favorite coworker. And she says that to his face. She can be herself with him. And I noticed that she noticed that's a big one for her. She noticed that with her new boyfriend, who it reminds me of Peter and I when we were first together. He lets her put his hair up in a ponytail. It's the cutest thing. I mean, I said he really does love you, and I was telling her about when you hate someone, that hatred's living in you. So it's hating on yourself, really. And she said she notices that she loves herself more since she's been with him. And I was like, just the fact that she noticed that, because our egos don't wants to keep hidden all of that negative stuff. It wants to keep it hidden. Like I have a friend who's, you know, it it does keep it hidden. We're not. It's when it's brought to your attention how you are being negatively for somebody, and it stings. You know you've got that ego. You've got it right there. It's. I was on after you were live. Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, you knew it. Okay, I just wanted to know if you knew it. Um, but that negative thing that comes to you and you react to it, that's the ego, that false me that wants to keep that hidden because it has a storyline of how it is. And it doesn't want to hear or see how it's actually being because it'll disturb the story it's got going. I don't know if I'm getting this across. It doesn't seem as clear as I want it to be. That little me is so afraid to be. First of all, it's afraid of love, real love, not romantic love, not the love that we've been sold as the you need a partner to live happily ever after. All the Disney princesses meet the guy and they live happily ever. That is not reality. Although it's not reality, it can be if you love, if the love is coming from inside of you. if you recognize the love that you are, then you unconditionally, as you unconditionally love you, you unconditionally love them. You can't help it. You can't have hatred for somebody. You can't have judgment for somebody. I mean, you can, but the minute you judge somebody as doing it wrong, you feel it. You feel it. We are numb to how we feel. Like, oh, I watched a really good near death experience thing this week that he, because when I go to bed at night, I put something in my ears so I don't hear Peter snoring. And I fall asleep to the whatever. Although, he doesn't snore as much as he did. Anyway, so I got this. Actually, I think it was Sherry that sent me the first one, and that led to another couple that were like this person was dead for 3 hours. No doctors were involved. He was in his, but his body temperature dropped because apparently after you die, your body temperature drops a degree every hour. And he talked to a nurse, and apparently he was gone for 3 hours. Hours! And he had the deepest recorded uh, NDE ever. He like went so deep. He was shown so much. And normally when they're shown, they don't remember when they come back, a lot of it. Immediately after they do, but it fades. I mean, they can remember some stuff, but I'm telling you, this guy, whoo, amazing. He was shown so much, and so much so that when he came back into his body, he could feel himself, the spirit, the essence, filling, because the body was dehydrated. The life force, whatever fills this up, the life force that we are, the essence that we are, is the aliveness. And when it's gone, organs shut down, and this is not, that life force is not inside anymore. Nothing is alive inside anymore. And he said, as he was coming back, he could feel it filling out. He could feel the blood going into it's moving again through his heart beating and all of this. It's fascinating to listen to, because normally we just feel that because we haven't felt the opposite. He felt the opposite, because everything here in life is opposite. That's why non-duality means not two. But everything on that's the reality here, is non-duality. But when we believe we're a me, and this human, this meat carcass is our machine, our vehicle to get through this life, it's we don't know the opposite. He actually was gone long enough that he saw the difference between empty, him out, and back. I'll have to post. I'm going to post it on my page, the video, because it is powerful. It just shows without a doubt. Because I could talk till the cows come home, but until we have this experience of, because as you listen to this, as you hear these repeatedly, what is said, whatever comes out here or wherever, it gets you to see a different way of thinking. Because basically what we think is what we see. It's what manifests here, what we think. And most of us think that we're that little me, and that little me, the very first belief is, I'm separate from God, from life, from that essence, and I'm not enough. That's me. That is the bottom line to all the thoughts that are on top of it. Something's wrong with me is the next one, and then it just goes into, like I was saying a couple weeks ago about how it grabs onto something. Like I had a talk with somebody recently, a, a young girl, and she was saying that some things that her grandmother has done to her, it seems like to her, and she needed to get this offered. She needed to talk. It was very tough for me to hold that space because I could feel judgment coming up, but I kept trying to bring back anybody who seemingly hurts you. I didn't talk to her like this. I couldn't. I kept it surface level because she's 10. But anything that seemingly hurts you is coming from somebody who's deeply hurt already. I did say that, and she goes, "That's not an excuse," but that's coming from already 10 years old, the ego. Oh, I tried, because when we're coming from that ego, there's no compassion. It's not compassionate. The compassion comes when you have compassion for yourself and know your worth. As you hear this message, your worth is building. You would not be here if you weren't worth it. If taking on this body and mind for a lifetime, we don't know. We do not know how long the lifetime will be when that heartbeat can stop. What's his name just died? Who's all about health and fitness and blah blah blah, and he just dropped dead. Who's that famous guy? Peter, what's that? Who just died? I keep wanting to say David Carradine, but Chuck Norris. He always has videos about the way you should be, but whatever. He just dropped dead. No, just okay. So the spirit, the essence, comes into a body when it's born and goes out of the body when it dies. But that's not reality. That's the me's version of the timeline of birth and death, which isn't you. You're the one watching it all, getting to experience it all through this, but it isn't who you are. That's what Dr. Dyer always used to say: die while you're alive. It's possible to die while you're alive. Like, and those veils, those identities that you've built up, that has, I can't say that you've built up because they've built. You haven't done anything. The patterns of thought get laid down in order to go through this life. It's so afraid of other people, situations. It just goes through life with anxiety, fear of the future, which the future isn't reality. There is no future. And the past is gone. There's no past either. There's literally now. That's it. That's the only reality is now. And there is no problems in now. There's zero problems now. None. The only problems, or we believe is problems, is in the timeline of the me. That timeline isn't reality. There is no time. That's what that guy talked about too. There is no time because there's literally just now. It's just that little me that you started believing is you, and not consciously, subconsciously. You were not. None of us were conscious to what was happening as the me was building, and each little pain Why did you do that? Stop. The message is there's something wrong with you, with me. So you break in your mind that starts the program of something's wrong with me. I'm bad. Something bad's going to happen in the future. And we live by this. We live by this belief. And what they always say, I've always heard, is we're not afraid of our of what bad's going to happen, or that we're powerless or whatever. We're afraid of our power. The reality is we are very powerful. It's the only thing it gets dumbed down by all the messages we seemingly get from the outside. Seemingly outside, it's not even the outside, because there is no inside outside, but that's part of the duality, that's part of the timeline. There really is no inside and outside. For the spirit, it is everywhere, it's everything. God, love, life, the wind. There's no inside and outside to the wind. Whatever makes you alive, that essence, it's everywhere. It's in the microphone. It's in the computer. It's in the cup. It's in the water. It's not separate from anything. It's a continuous stream of nothing. But look at what we get to experience because of the power of our mind. We get to. That's what I was saying last week that Alicia was so excited about. I don't have to do something. I get to do so. I get to experience this. It's cold this morning. I get to experience cold. Right, Lori? I prefer to experience warm. That's what the little me. It's always about preferences. It's always preferring something and kicking whatever it doesn't like to the curb and judging it as wrong. When the whole time, that's what is. That's what is. Whatever we fight. Okay, so back to Hannah. She was noticing that she can be everyone she can be herself with. Her boyfriend, her new boyfriend. Although, and also, I see her old boyfriend she was with for 2 years. And they never really connected. Neither one of them. She was blaming him, saying that the blame. It's another thing. You know what I say about blame. You're never going to realize who you really are when you blame a situation, a person. When you are yourself, your true self, with the ones you can be your true self with, that's the love that you are. That's why I love being with people, because they get to feel that. Like yesterday, yesterday we had breakfast at a place that Peter's been wanting to go to for a while. So just at the end of it, I see this woman walking, this big pregnant woman coming. I mean, her belly is big. She's not big. She's a little thing. She's so adorable. Her name is Jordan. And the minute I saw her, I'm like, what? And she looked at me, and it took a minute. It took a second for her to, what are you doing? She was having breakfast with her parents. And she was one of the teachers that at Skyline Elementary that I was at for the past couple weeks. And she was genuinely happy to see me. And she said, I hope you're coming back. She was so sincere. I got up and we hugged, and we were both genuinely happy to see each other. And she says, apparently the lady before me it wasn't a very good fit. As the veils start going and you start being more of yourself instead of guarded and afraid of somebody else, being around someone who's more themselves gives the other one permission to be themselves. because you're remembering who you really are, because you've forgotten, because you've had to mold yourself into, because you're so afraid of doing it wrong. And as you let go of that, you start, it starts, okay, you're the light, and it starts letting the others remember their light. She says, I wish, I, I want you, there's something about it. It was beautiful what she said. It was just beautiful. Because we had a connection. I had a connection with all of the people that I was around at that school. I had a great time. And I was telling Peter that I like being in a school for a length of time, but I can see how being a substitute, you go into different schools, it's not the same all the time, which is, it feels so alive. It's not routine. It's not the same steps, the same routine. It's something different all the time, which feels alive. I can see thoughts coming in when you're at the same thoughts of, oh, here we go again, and I watch them. I could see those thoughts, the awareness when you see the thoughts, when you see them in real time. You can tell. You can say, okay, there you are. You're in the program, that program, and it makes you feel awful inside that program. Once you get into that rut of same old, same old, it's so cool to just surprise it. Have something different where you cannot predict what's going to be. You can't anyway, you never know, but the mind thinks it knows. If I do blah blah, it's going to be blah blah. I know what he's going to say. If I say blah blah, he's going to say, what? Of course he's going to say, or she's going to say what you think they're going to say, because they are part of you. There's no separation in reality from you and any other person or any other thing. But when we believe we are this body and mind, that we believe that the skin is our border, it's the end of me, and it's going to die in whatever. Actually, doesn't know. I can see this mind projecting that it's going to die somewhere in the 80s or something. I mean, that's just a subconscious background belief, but I don't know. There's no guarantee that tomorrow this heart just stops. No guarantee. We do not. And everybody's so afraid of death. That's basically the little me is so afraid to die. It's like the core fear is of death, when that's your freedom. When this body and mind drops, there's no separation at all anymore. You are the essence, and it go. Oh, his rendition of what happened after he dropped, the body dropped. Whew, so good, so good. Yeah, it was pretty powerful. And he has a Zoom. Actually, he has a Zoom thing on Sunday mornings at 10. Oh, I wanted to just check it out. It's free. Everything, he said, everything is free, just like I do. I talked to somebody this past week on Monday, and she thinks she's dying of pancreatic cancer, because that's another thing. There's a belief that pancreatic cancer, it cannot be cured, blah, blah, blah. Well, I sent her a thing this week. Although, I sent her a thing this week that it talked about something new that they're doing, and it said pancreatic cancer right on it. It cures it. It's sound therapy. Oh, it's a beautiful. Anyway, and she's also into something else. But she was so heavy, and she admitted she was afraid. She goes, I'm so scared. I said, what is the fear? So we locked on the fear. You know what? Within less than 15 minutes, she was laughing. When we got off that talk, she was a completely different person. We talked for an hour, and she goes, I gotta do this again. I gotta talk again. We were born, we live, we die. In between that time, we hope we live a great life. Well, but we really don't live and die. We're never going to die. Who we really are. We believe that, Karen, for this body and mind. But what animates this body? Like when Mom died, she was laying in that bed after they pulled the plug, and I did not, I mean, I'm sitting there looking at her body, and after Angie went to go get her computer in Portland, that morning, she woke up. Her eyes opened, and I went, hi! I said, I didn't think I was going to see you again. The whole time I'm sitting next to her bed looking at that body, but until those eyes opened, I did not think I was going to see her again. The eyes are the window to our souls, which is what we are. The soul, if you want to say that. That little movie, Soul, does a very good way of explaining. It's beautiful. The movie on Disney called Soul. It's a very deep. It's a fun. I love that movie. I could watch it all the time. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, that the body dies, your essence, your soul never dies. Exactly, exactly, exactly. And that's who you are, the soul. It doesn't die. It's the thing that's not separate from anything. But we are identified as we start growing. We identify with we start believing that we're this body and mind, all the thoughts. And there's no new thought. The thoughts are the same for every human. Every human has the same exact thoughts. There are no new thoughts. And they're mostly designed to make, okay, when this feels like shit, use it. It's your barometer. When a thought comes and you feel like crap inside, you know right there that you're believing a thought that's not true. Use it. Peter, what was he? He had a tough one this week. His thoughts took over. One of the big ones when you get older is I've failed or I've not, basically it's beating you up. And your body feels heavy and awful because your body knows that that's not the truth. It knows. I'm hearing a red-winged blackbird. My favorite bird. I don't ever see them here, but I hear them. I want to see one. There it is. So close, but I don't. Anyway. Yeah, that talk I had with Patty was so awesome. I could have, just like the helicopter ride we went on last week, and the guy was so exhausted from just repeatedly doing the same thing all day. We were one of the last ones. He was like, he was so over it, and I said, I said something about, but you're making a lot of money or something, whatever. And then I said, but it isn't about the money, is it? I say it right on the recording, and I said, the joy you're bringing to people. I could have flown when I got off that phone with, and that's when I talked to him about having a great talk with somebody about who seemingly dying, we talked about signs too. I have 3 beautiful signs from Aunt Phyllis, Dad, and Mom, all within a year. Oh my God. But yeah, and there's no heaviness to any of them leaving. No heaviness whatsoever. I feel them. They didn't go anywhere. They're right here, and they've proven it. to me, to Lori. um, but Taylor's like, this is when you take out, you let them know that you've taken your time and you're going to. I said, no, absolutely not. I said, no amount of money could compare to the joy I felt when I got off that phone because I saw there was a difference in her. And I'm seeing the difference in a lot around me. I've been talking about this lately. I'm seeing, well, they're talking about the quickening. There's a lot changing. Like the systems are. Life's not gonna. In 10 years, it's not gonna be the same. Less than 10 years, they say. It's not gonna be the same life that we've. I don't know if you guys have watched Pluribus yet. God, it's such. Anyway. Yeah, it's not going to be the same Earth. Changes are coming, big changes. The systems are breaking down. I've heard this for a couple of years now, and I was talking with John McIntosh, who is a pretty powerful. I've read his books. I've talked with him. I have it recorded. And when I first got to Florida, I think, God, it's been probably, I don't know how many years now, but he was talking about what's actually happening right now. Back then, I was like, he's full of it. But and this guy who has died, he said the same freaking things. God damn, this guy is so awesome. He says he does this Zoom thing or whatever. It's all just donations. He lives off donations. Where before he said he was an ass. He said he was an ass. If you'd have talked about spirituality in front of him or God or anything, he would have been, you know, just judging the shit out of you. He had this NDE where he freaking changed. When he came back, nothing that he doesn't have any friends that he had before. He was single. He would uh, go to the bars, drink a lot, go to the bars, pick up a girl. Didn't care if she was married or not. He would just all ego. He had all the toys. He was a boss. He was a big guy in some company, and he was basically living the ego life, living through his ego, not giving a shit about anything, no compassion, no kindness. It was just, and he said he had the boats. And he said he had a boat, and then that boat wasn't. He had to get another boat, so he had two boats. But then the first boat wasn't big enough, didn't have enough engine, so he had to get. He said it was an endless supply, and now he's basically living on donations, living in not in the big house, and he's not. It's not. He's completely changed his life. I mean, not intentional. It's just what happened because he saw through this whole ego structured life that we've built through believing in separation. That's it. The back of my vehicle, I have a magnet, blue magnet that says, "We are here to." Oh, I got one in my bedroom. I think I've showed this before. Oh, it's not gonna. We are here to awaken from the illusion of our separateness. That's on the back of my Denali. I put it. I have it. Um, like it's got a tailgate that lifts up, so it's right there. When you're behind me, that's what you see. And you know what? To be entertaining this message, to be one of the few. I mean, it's growing. There's a lot more people that are. I'm so grateful to have had that experience when I was 35, or between, it was 1998, 1998 when that happened, that opening. But then I didn't know, just like most NDE people, they don't know. It takes them years to figure out what the hell that was. And I was living egoless for almost 4 weeks of pure bliss and yesterday at a car show. Yeah, that so it was magic. I believe I mean, I went from living completely ego, not knowing any other way that there was another way, and then all of a sudden, I talked to my parents, asking them why I didn't feel loved growing up, and the explanation, and my dad's love and acceptance for the first time freaking sent me into orbit. I was just the love for myself. I remember driving to, I worked at Hannaford in Brunswick. It was new then, and I remember like hugging myself on my way in, driving in. I can still picture myself driving. I had a Grand Am back then, and I was on 196. Karen knows, and then Margie knows. Driving to Brunswick, I was going on 196, and all of a sudden, because normally I went River Road. I don't know why I was going. Anyway, and I literally put one arm around myself because I loved. I just the love, the appreciation for this was so palpable. People at work were like, all the vendors, because I went to work early, like 5 o'clock. I had to be there at 5, so it was like 4:30, and I was like, you know, all the vendors are early in the morning there, and I remember the Frito Lay guy go. I hear him over in the other. I was in the feminine aisle, and he's over in the chip aisle, and he's going, "What's up with Tabitha? What is she on?" But that cliche high on life is exactly that's what I feel like. Peter would look at me and go, "You're high." No, I'm not. Yeah, high on life. When you love yourself and you're full of joy, and that's what we're meant to be. That when as those identities start loosening and you're coming back to the reality that you are, joy is your that's you. When you're with somebody and when you're yourself, your real self, not the one that's guarded and afraid to say something wrong or do something wrong, the real you. There's certain people that you are with that you can be yourself with. You don't have to earn their love. You're just being, and they love that being. And Hannah's now realizing she can be that. I pointed out. I got a little bit in. She does not like. She's very offended by it when I say anything spiritual. But there was an opening Friday, and I said, you're yourself with Isaac and Elliot and Faith. There's a girl she works with. You can be yourself with anyone. Whatever comes to mind, don't close it down. If it's something that's going to slam, like Christina, when we were kayaking, she said her sister-in-law, she heard through her husband that she said Christina's not the brightest or whatever, and so she took that as the ego's going to take front to all this. Not the brightest. So of course that's what she believes. Or if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, I don't need to be. I don't need to be bright. I don't need to be smart. I don't need to be anything. Really. So she's learning kayaking. She's in front of me in the boat, and I was trying to get her to, cut in because we have to get out of the way for the other, because we're in a winding waterway thing, and we're kayaks coming the other way or whatever. So we had to get out of the way. She did it wrong, and I go, Jesus, you're not the brightest. As you make fun of it, now she can own she's not the brightest. Because if you tiptoe around it and be afraid to call her out, or to afraid, oh, I don't want to offend her. Offend the hell out of them and laugh about it. Oh my God! By the end of that day, I so many times I said to her, "Well, Jesus, you know you're not the brightest." It was so fun. I am so myself with her. I'm pretty much myself with most people, and that's why they're okay. Like when plans change, when somebody like Jeannie was wanted to go back to California for something a couple of years ago when we went, and she had it all planned out, and at the last minute she changed it, and I said, okay, I I wasn't attached to it, and she was like, that's what I love about you. You don't. Well, when plans change, when she's the mind gets so rigid on what it should be. And if it isn't, it can't let go. But you, who you really are, no matter what's happening, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to hold on to anything. It's only that mind that's fighting. It should be this way. And you can feel that. But okay, we pivot left. We go do something else. Because I know no matter where I'm going or what I'm doing, it's going to be fun. I know that. So we were talking about going to, you could go to, somebody said, if I do blah, 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 you could go to jail. I said, well, I know I'd have a damn good time in jail. And they're like, oh, no, you wouldn't, Lori. You don't know what jail. I don't give a shit. I know I'd have a good time. I know I would. I know that it would be a transition. It would be some eye open. I don't know, but it's. I mean, I'm sure it's different than your normal life, but I know I would still be myself in there. I would, and you can't help but feel the love when you are yourself, which is love itself. You're not trying to get love from somebody, and they start remembering, oh, I don't need anybody's love. When you are coming from that ego, it has an agenda. Oh, I need to be friends with them because they will blah, 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 blah for me. Because that little me is all about what it can get, what it can have, what it can screw somebody out of, or whatever. This is so. But as it starts leaving, and the only thing that's left is love, it's felt by the others. It's felt, and they remember, oh, right. Oh, because all of us, basically, this whole life is about remembering. We build up that ego to protect us because we feel like we're not good enough, and you figure out something's wrong with me and what that story is. Because Mom's story was her grandmother. I talked about this yesterday with Phoebe's mom. Her grandmother, her mother, my grandmother, told Mom that her my mother's grandmother apparently didn't like my mother, and when she was little she put her in a closet. That's where it ended. That was the story that Mom held on to till she died, was that her grandmother didn't love her and put her in a closet. So that's where her mind deemed herself unworthy of love. The thing is, you can't get love from anybody else. It's not possible to get love from somebody else. It's realizing you are it, and then it goes everywhere. And it's fun. That's when life is fun. When you can be yourself and love. Just when you're coming from love, even if you're slamming somebody, like telling them they're not the brightest bulb in the back. It doesn't matter. It blows up their ego, gets them more to the love they are. Because that belief that she's not the brightest is not as strong anymore. Because I made fun of it. That's why I tell her when she's arguing with George, laugh at it. Just laugh. I'm going to turn this video around someday. Whew, this was good. I had no idea. I never have any idea, but I try to look. I see Lori trying to look for something. Oh, the Believe in Magic yesterday at the car show. There was a song. They were playing the radio was really good music, and the song "Do You Believe in Magic?" Oh my God! I went, yes, I do, because when I woke up, when the initial wake up in 1998 was like it felt like I was living magic, because I saw that everywhere Lori went. Back then, I didn't have the words for it, but everywhere she was put, it was magic, because I was being myself. I was not hiding or dumbing down. I just was myself. With strangers, we went to Boston. Took the kids to Boston, to the aquarium for the day, in the museum. Oh my God, we had the best. They don't even remember. Travis was 10, Taylor was 6. They don't remember it. Oh my God, it was the most magical. I didn't want to get out of the brain in the museum. There's a part on just the brain. I didn't want to leave. I could have stayed there all day reading everything and doing all the, because it was all new. And it literally, I was living magic with that ego being dumbed down and the love coming out of me, coming out like gangbusters. What's Tibitot on? I can see that guy's face. I don't remember his name. Anyway. Gosh. Yeah. So, as you entertain this message and you start questioning things and noticing, Byron Katie always says, are you noticing? And when Hannah said she noticed that she loves herself more since she's been with her, because she wouldn't have she was attracting people who were like her, which was very depressed and downtrodden and, feeling like I'm not good enough and something's wrong with me. It's changing. And I literally just said that less than a week ago. I said, I'm resisting her, because I was saying how negative she is and how hard it is to be on the phone with her. I was keeping her right there. Now I'm seeing her with new eyes. I literally just said this, and then boom, we have this conversation that is amazing on Friday. Yeah. There's still some ego in there. I see it. I mean, there is here too. There's definitely still ego here. But a lot had shed. Most of the time. Majority of the time. And that's the thing. As your mind starts loosening its grip, you really feel it when you come across something that your body is letting you know. So when you're in mostly joy and, lightheartedness, love daily, when something comes up that's not, there's your temple bell right there. That's another thing Katie taught us. Your temple bell is your body. If it feels like crap, you're in your mind. What are you thinking? Last night, Peter couldn't sleep. I said, what's on your mind? He says, yeah, I'm building a ramp for the shed up north. I'm building all future thoughts, keeping him awake, tossing and turning. I'm like, what is on your mind? And once it's off his mind, you can write it down if there's no one to talk to. Write it down, right? If you can't sleep, that's the best time to clue into what's going on in your head, because there's no distractions in the dark at night. And you can tell what you're thinking. Write it down. Somebody said that on the morning news. That's how long ago this was, because I haven't watched the news in 30 years. Somebody said it on the morning news, because I used to turn the news on immediately in the morning to get ready for the day. What? Anyway, that is so foreign to me now. But there was a positive thing. It said if you can't sleep, keep a pen and paper by your bed and write. I've told so many people that, and nobody does it. But Peter, if I can notice him tossing and turning out, because I feel it. It's not. I don't feel him too bad because we have that memory foam, so I don't feel it like I used to at home. But last night he was like, "You're awake?" I said, "Well, just turning over." Just he goes, "I can't sleep." I go, "What is it? What's on your mind?" And he started rattling it off, and then he goes to sleep. It's pretty cool. If you write it down, everything that's a good way to recognize your thoughts. The who is recognizing those thoughts. That's a beautiful way to slip in there, noticing that you're not those thoughts because you recognize them. Isn't that the best? Who's the one? Who am I? Who? Who am I? Who's the one recognizing those thoughts? Where am I gonna? I'm gonna have to listen back to this because I talked about so much. I need to. I don't need to nothing. I listen back and then I find a gist of it. Actually, last week on YouTube, I put it on YouTube and I put a lot in the description because I talk about so much. But I'd like to find an overall. You are not your thoughts. I think I've titled it like that before. Anyway, it'll be what it'll be. All right. I love you. Every single one of you is worthy. You are worth it. Just because you're here. Just because your body, this body you're inhabiting, so to say. That's a way to start anyway. You have a wonderful week. I hope all of you start noticing. Or you probably, Cynthia, you have to be noticing. We've been talking. You've been with me since we started. God, I don't know how long I've been doing this now. Anyway, have a wonderful week. I know I will. Cynthia sending love to all. I appreciate you too. All of you. And Peter gets shit. See you next week. Mwah.